Hello once again, welcome back to the Taom V10 Helsinki Open here at Biljard 247 in Helsinki, Finland. We're getting towards the closing stages. We're into the last 32. The referee has set up the balls ready for the players to lag, and it's Denis Grabe against Stuart Bingham. Straight knockout, race to 10. Stuart we've seen on the TV table a couple of times now. Struggles with the break a little bit because it's a very different skill to what he's used to. But other than that, solid. And Denis has won the lag and will break. A reminder that there is a shot clock in play, standard matchroom shot clock. 30 seconds per shot with one extension each rack. And players get 60 seconds after the break automatically. Denis has hit that one very full, and the one ball has missed the middle pocket height. So Stuart will get first look at the table. A little awkward there, bridging over the 7. Just needs this to slow up. And it hasn't. So he's going to run for cover, try and use the 5 at the top to hide the cue ball. Needs to reach a cushion. Just does. We still have a couple of matches in play from the 2:30 session. Niels Feijen against Felix Vogel, Battle of the Generations. Niels is 9-6 up, so he's on the hill, and he's only a few balls away from taking that one. Ralph Souquet is playing John Morra, and Ralph is 7-6 up on John there. We're going to be concentrating on this match here. Did well to hit that ball. He's left a long pot, but there's not a lot Denis can do with the cue ball. It's so straight. Niels Feijen has just won that match against Felix, and Niels will progress into the last 16 later today. Denis electing just to stop the ball there. Trying to play safe with the 3. I think he hasn't quite got there, he's left a gap. Yeah, Stuart can see the bottom side of this red. 3. But an overhit safety shot. He's trying to use the 6 as cover, and he's just sold out. Left Denis Grabe in, who won't take any time at all to try and run through these. Just using spin to arc that cue ball across one cushion and out. And he's in perfect position now to take this first rack. No problems at all. Other matches getting started in the arena. Piers Labutis against Carl Naderberg. Piers has just taken the first rack there. Jonas Suto against Ilka Kangas. Mark Beister Bosch just about to start against Kim Larkson. Kim, who defeated Victor Zielinski to knock him out of the tournament. Riku Rompinen is playing Claudio Cacci again. Riku beat Claudio quite convincingly in the early rounds. Sent Claudio to the loser's side, but Claudio's fought through that to single elimination. And now they've drawn each other again. David Alkadi currently 1-1 with Revo Maimra, the young Estonian. And Christian Sodea is playing Jere Vitaranta, sorry. And that match has just got started. So we're going to see Stuart's break. As I say, has been struggling because he places the cue ball as far forward as he can in that break box, like the pros. But he doesn't use a looped bridge, so that limits the amount of power he can put through the cue and control he can have. And as you can see, they haven't really come open. But he has been saved by the 5-ball covering the 1. Yeah, Stuart's break is becoming an issue for him. Something he'll have to work on if he wants to go further in WNT tournaments in future. Such a huge part of the game now, as is the push out. Denis is just pushed to a position where Stuart can see the edge of the 1. It's up to Stuart whether he wants to take this shot on or pass it back to Denis. Had a good chance to find some cover. There's plenty of balls down there, and he has done. Denis just sizing up a potential jump shot. Called his extension. And he does go and fetch the short cue. This time unsuccessful. Needs the cue ball to hold up behind the 5, but it hasn't. So Stuart does have a look at this. Didn't want to force the issue too much, as he thought he was bringing the corner pocket into play for a potential scratch. So he settled for leaving the cue ball down here near the pockets. hoping he misses his very next shot. It was very tricky. I was expecting a safety option out of him. He took it on. Just whether Denis can get through to the potting angle of this too. He can't. So he lays up. So Stuart will go at this off of one cushion. So pot from distance, from playing on the rail, and he's absolutely nailed it. As the cue ball just stopped in time, I think he might be blocked from hitting the red 3. So the jump cue might be coming out again. And the difficulties with playing a shot from the rail like he did, very difficult to get any sort of backspin or stunt on the ball at all. He's played that fantastically, broken up the cluster, and now in prime position. Ralph Souquet has just gone 8-6 ahead of John Morris. Grinding out a result there, or trying to as Ralph. Just taps his chalk on the table, was just asking the cue ball to sit down and stop moving. It's gone a little bit far, so he'll be probably running into this 7. Just wanted to push it far enough that he'll have a shot towards the top left corner. Could have been easier, but he'll settle for it. Superbly played. And just like that, 2-0 Denis Grabe. Riku Romponen has just taken a 2-1 lead over Claudio Cacci. If Riku goes on to win that match, Claudio won't want to see Riku again very soon, that's for sure. You can just see in the background John Morrow walking around the table, trying to do his best to come back against Ralph. So Denis hit this very thick first break. That's better. I'm much happier with that. So looking to see if he can stick Stuart straight behind the 5 ball with the cue ball. Not bad. Yeah, this is set up nicely for Denis. Just ran a little too far. Makes the next shot slightly awkward. May elect to take this to the top left to make cueing a little easier. Oh, that's really awkward. His arm's just above the 5 ball. Referee's keeping an eye on that. And he'll certainly settle for that. This is the last part really where this clearance could go wrong. Just wants to make sure he gets the right line on the 7. A little straight, so we'll just be pulling it back to where he's holding his cue there, or trying to. It's okay if he overruns the position as well, because he'll have a shot to the middle at worst. No, that's good. Denis absolutely not phased with playing the 2015 Snooker World Champion. Takes a 3-0 lead. So we'll play down to the last 8 tonight. So after this match, we will have one of the last 16 matches for you on WNT TV. And then tomorrow, from 10 AM local time, same time it's been all week, we'll bring you the closing stages of this tournament on day 4. And then in just a couple of days' time, that's a really good break for Stuart. That's much better. He's contacted that as well as he has all day. A couple of days after this event finishes, we go straight to Scotland, to McGoldrick's Pool and Sports Bar in Glasgow for the Scottish Open, where Duong Quoc Quang will defend his title. The Vietnamese superstar still very much in this tournament. He's already through to the last 16 later today. McGoldrick's Pool and Sports Bar in Glasgow, definitely one of the best in the UK and well worth a visit. And here Stuart He's potted the 2-ball. He looks to be eyeing up a potential 3-ball combo, but he's shaking his head. He's just going to play this safe, using the 6 to stop the 3. I don't think he's got behind the 7 as he intended. So Stuart struggling out there early on. Nine ball can definitely be a game of momentum and inertia. When a player is running away with it, as Denis is early on, you can feel like nothing's going for you. Again, he lines up that potential combo. He's got a really good chance of a telling safety as well with those 3 balls where they are. It does look like he's playing this 3 into the 5 and 4. That safety option it was. I think he's left the right-hand edge for Denis. Both players struggling with the safety a little, and the pace of the table. Again, he's going to leave something for Denis to hit here, which he shouldn't have done with 3 object balls to hide behind. He has a little smile to himself in his seat. He knows he should have done better. Of course, not used often, Stuart, to playing with a shot clock. Only would have been in a snooker shootout. He just caught the 8-ball first there, and that's a foul. Once again, Denis has earned his opportunity. Yeah, he's played that perfectly, and another simple 9 for the big man from Estonia. Just across the water from Helsinki is Estonia's capital Tallinn. You easily get to it on a quick ferry, or even a 20 or 30-minute plane. It's that close. So Denis races into a 4-0 lead. Also racing into a 4-0 lead, it's Jonas Suto, who's 4-0 up against Ilkka Kangas. Piers Labutis has taken an early 3-1 lead against Carl Naderberg. Ralph Souquet is now on the hill, 9-6 up against John Morra. Textbook 9-ball break box break from Denis. Good power and control. 2 balls just gone a bit close to this rail for anything easy. He tried to play the cross side bank. Hasn't worked out. So now Stuart has a chance at an open table. And this is where he's really dangerous. He may not know all the intricacies of the shots, but an open table to him, and he's used to a larger snooker table. Should be easy. And Denis just needs to be a bit careful. He doesn't underestimate Stuart. You tick on that cross-side bank without really much thought. But he can't be handing racks across to his opponent. Yeah, he's played through these really nicely. Anywhere middle of the table will be absolutely perfect for Stuart. That's good. It's good signs. He's shown Denis you can't afford to leave him those sort of chances. Now he just needs to follow that up by breaking as he did in the last rack. So, mentioned the Scottish Open starting in a few days. And then very soon after that, 6th of May is the next Matchroom major event, the UK Open. Once again from Telford. Robbie Capito winning that last year, his breakthrough WNT victory. He had a good, solid season since as well. It's very close to the Premier League crown. Recently in Bosnia. Yeah, Stuart seems to have perhaps worked this out. Wry smile from Denis. Doesn't want to be straight. Does not want to be straight. He's only got a small amount of angle here. So He'll have to force this or just pull it back a touch. Well, he's done well with what he had. The reverse side just flicks it out. Enough. And that's a great break and run from Stuart, acknowledged by the crowd. And Denis now thinking, game on. If you are in the UK and you're interested in attending the UK Open as a spectator, which runs Tuesday 6th of May all the way till Sunday the 11th, check out matchroompool.com for the ticket info. Denis has missed the one on this occasion. 4 balls just covered it. Stuart plays the push. So Denis has the choice to play this or pass it back. There's quite a lot of value in playing this. You can take the cue ball off the top rail and make really good contact with the one. Try and leave the cue ball somewhere up the table and send the one down. And that was absolutely perfect, as intended. Lots of cover there. Yeah, he made good contact with that. Denis has forced half an opening. And calls for his extension as he looks at the potting angle of the one. But he's missed it. And where's this going to stop? Right in front of the middle pocket. So again, he's handed over an open table to Stuart, who so far hasn't made any mistakes when he's had opportunities like this. And that's a really good thing to do, because your opponent knows he can't afford to miss. Played that pocket weight, gave it every opportunity to go in. Played this really well. It wasn't the hardest ball to land on, but it was a smaller window to land within than most of the shots he'll have in this clearance. He's done well to get there. This one may be a bit straight, so he'll have to leave a bit of distance. For his next shot to the 7. Going this way, small danger of bringing the 8 into play, but he's just got around it. Denis smiles again. He knows it could have gone wrong there. Stuart finishes the clearance. John Morra on the recovery trail, now 9-7 behind Ralph Souquet. You can see at the top of the screen he's at the table. Once again, all the matches in play are available to view. You can see them all on YouTube, on the Billiard Tube channel, with the exception, of course, of our TV table, which is exclusive to Matchroom Pool subscribers on WNTTV.com. The 7's just going to drop in. Once again, Denis can't believe a little roll that Stuart's had there. Seemed to almost get a bit of a kick when he contacted the 1 ball, and the cue ball jumped a bit. Would have preferred a half ball contact on that too, to send it more towards the bottom left. This is now a little awkward. Stuart calls for his extension wisely. He seems to be managing the shot clock very well. That's a great little shot. one tricky pot away on this 3-ball. Yep, made it, so it could be in for another great clearance from Stuart. Powered that one in. Sent the cue ball around 4 cushions. You can see he is well and truly getting into this match. He's eaten up that 4-0 deficit to level things up at 4-4. And if you remember, Denis played a fairly nonchalant cross bank to let Stuart in. Maybe thinking that Stuart was going to struggle, but since then he's been dominant. Just points his cue towards the 3-ball, knowing that it didn't come open. That's the only real difficulty of this rack. He's just looking to see now if he can play the 3-8 combo after he pots this 2-ball. If not, the 4-ball's in the way, he may have to try and find a way to get the cue ball to that right-hand side of the table. The angle doesn't really lend itself to that very easily that he's got on the 2, so he's again looking at the combo. He's got a bit of time. Players get 60 seconds after the break to work out their route, so they get twice the amount of time. Because it's not always as straightforward as just looking at the next shot. Yeah, he's tried to get there to the right-hand side. He's done that very well. A little snick on the 5 on the way through. Nearly put him off course, but it hasn't. And this is a really good angle now that he can just nudge into the 4 if he wants to clear the way for it to go past the 8. And then the one real final puzzle in this rack is 4 to the 5. If he can avoid running into the 8 after potting the 4, which I think he can get to where he's holding his cue there. Looking to see if there's enough room for him to hit the 5 towards the bottom left pocket. Well, he ran into the 8 and didn't intend to. And by doing that, it's come off at a different angle than he expected. running out of time there and played that shot pretty quickly. In fairness to Denis, it wasn't the easiest run out at all. It was only a small flick. That meant he didn't have position. Well, that's pretty good. Stuart played that twice across. Very nearly got a double kiss, which would have made things very simple for Denis, but he just avoided it. And he's achieved a little bit of cover. So Denis can only kick at this 5. And once again, ball run has had exactly that. Could easily have been snookered here, could easily have been that the 6 blocked the path of the 5, but it didn't. He's potted the 5. In doing so, contacted the 6. He's pushed it right onto the bottom rail. And these are really tough, especially when stretching. And that's the first time, really, in open play, Stuart's failed to make a clearance. This is pretty good. Yeah, he'll be more than happy with that. Just wants this to come clear of the 9 so he doesn't have to queue over it. Slightly awkward hand positioning maybe, but not too bad. Disgusted with himself. As soon as he missed that ball, waved his cue around. And it could be that he's going to be behind here. But Stuart can't take advantage. Shredfest in this 9th rack. Denis does complete the clearance at last and is now 5-4 up. Jonas Suto is on a mission. He's currently 8-0 up already on Ilkka Kangas. If that's a quick match, the one on table 2 that you see at the top of your screen is definitely the opposite. Ralph Souquet and John Morrow. John Morrow is now just one behind. It's 9-8 to Ralph Souquet, who's just needed one more to get over the line for the last couple of racks. And he's in a tough spot there. He's right behind the 4-ball and stuck to the cushion practically. So Stuart, whose breaking has improved greatly this match. Once again, makes the one. Very awkward shot on the 2 though, with that 3-ball right up against the cue ball. Not rushing, he knows he's got 60 seconds to take a look. Yeah, it was sensible to run for cover. Has he just left a gap between 4 and 6? Very tight. I don't think he'll have left the potting angle. Denis is having a proper look at this. 5 or 6 times now he's looked at that. Must be very, very, very tight. But he is kicking. And he's scratched. So Stuart gets a look at the open table. The point of the corner pocket. Just saving Stuart there. As you can see, he doesn't try to get too close to balls. He knows his skill in this game is going to be his potting. So why try to complicate things? If you were surprised that that 4-ball found a home at the top left, just a reminder that these Predator Apex tables that we're using are a 4.25, 4¼ inch pocket. So slightly larger than we normally use at the Matchroom Majors, which are 4-inch pockets, where that one definitely wouldn't have fallen. Just decided to slow roll that and leave the position short side. And he fires the 9 up the rail. And is now level at 5-5. And this is turning out to be a bit of a classic. Elsewhere, Claudio Cacci Currently 4-3 up against Riku Rompunen. Riku, who sent Cledio to the loser's side early on with a convincing victory. I believe it was 9-3. Cledio's looking for revenge now. He's already got more racks than he did that day. David Al-Kaidi, 6-1 up on the young Estonian Revo Maimra. And Ilka Kangas has finally got a rack on the board. 8-1 down now to Jonas Sutu. Piers Labutis going strong. 6-3 up against Carl Naderberg. As Denis breaks off again. He throws his arms out. At the 3, was going to cover the 2. It didn't quite, but it has cut off the potting angle, I believe. He makes 3 balls on the break and still not happy. All these players want is to make a ball and to be on the lowest ball. And then they can make things happen from there. So he elects the safety shot. Again, it's not exactly where he'd want to be. He wouldn't want to leave Stuart a look at this ball at all. That time, the shot clock did catch Stuart by surprise. He had to reset after calling his extension. And tried to play an up and down safety. It hasn't worked out. Catching the double kiss. So now, Denis will try and weld this cue ball up against the 3 and send the 2 far away. And that's a great attempt. Being that close to the 3 ball just blocks off, well, firstly it blocks off the easier jump escape, but secondly blocks off an easy 1 rail escape. So now Stuart's got to find a line to hit this 2 ball and try to get it safe. So he's going to be 3 cushions. He's just slid past it. So Denis has really earned this opportunity. Ralph Suke is 3 balls away from finally beating John Morrett. Just 7, 8, 9 to go. And they're in the open. Denis will just play this off 1 cushion and come back to the right hand side of the table as the 7 doesn't pass the 9 to the bottom right. And the handshake comes at the top of your screen, and Ralph Suke is through to the final 16 later today. So Denis will retake the lead here. Now 6-5 up. So already through to the last 16 later today. We saw on the TV table Francisco Sanchez-Ruiz with a brilliant performance against Jan Juski. He'll be facing Elliot Sanderson. Duong Quoc Huang, the Scottish Open champion from last year, he'll be facing Arseny Sevastianov. Niels Feijen is already through to the next round. He's awaiting to see who his opponent will be. Although it looks likely he's in the same part of the draw as Ralph Souquet, who's just finished. So it looks like it's Niels versus Ralph later today. That's a battle for the ages. Petri Mäkinen, who came through spectacularly, is against Mark Maggi. And the remaining spots are open. Stuart just makes the one ball. It just made it past the point of the middle pocket. And the two tries to sit up in front of the middle, but doesn't quite get there. This cluster of 5 balls at the bottom of the table, a very tempting target to try and get the cue ball behind. Ralph Souquet's victory means that his table is now free for the last 32 match to go on, which will be the defending champion Naoki Oi, and he is facing Quinton Pongers. Quinton, who sent Naoki to loser's side with a fantastic performance on the TV table, so he's looking for revenge. This is looking good from Stuart. Tap of the table from Denis. Stuart would have loved another roll on that cue ball to get wedged behind the 3. But still very, very good. And Denis will need a long jump here. Get over the 9. Double kiss on the 2, not ideal. He'll be thankful there's distance between the balls. That means Stuart will need to power this in order to get to the 3, which makes it missable. How good is that? Yep, slightly overran it, but even getting there made it look very easy. And the side daking effect just kills the angle of the cue ball, leaving him a shot on the 4, and he is bang in position now. He's been killer from these positions. Once again, He needs to get from the top to the bottom of the table. And this time, the additional power required has meant he's missed the pot. Great pot to the middle from Denis. And he just creates daylight again. 7-6 up now on Stuart. Meanwhile, David Al-Kaidi has also extended his lead. He's now 7-1 up on Revo Maimra. Jonas Sutu is on the hill already. 9-1 up against Ilkka Kangas. And in fact, Ilkka Kangas has missed the 9-ball and shaken his hand. So Jonas Sutu is through. Piers Labutis is just about to pot the 9-ball for a 7-4 lead over Carl Naderberg, and does so. Another great break from Denis. There's a 2 from distance. Tricky to get position. I'm just looking at the lateral angle there, which does run towards where he placed his hand. Making the safety a very, very good option. Stuart's not going to have a lot of room to put the cue through there. And scratches. And once again, a really good safety from Denis. He's really tightened up on those safety shots. Has led to a great chance. Just needs to land low side of the 5 to take it up to the top left. I would have loved a bit more angle. is such an easy-going player. He wouldn't have minded those easy little bits of luck going Stuart's way. You can see he just laughs it off, knows it's part of the game. And he knows now he's tightened up. He's got the advantage here. Just needs to run. He's got there. And simple 9 to the middle for a 3-rack lead. Which he takes, no problem. Riku Rompunen, 2 balls away from a rack against Claudio that he badly needs. He's currently 6-4 down. It's the young Albanian start. And he does take them out. So now 6-5, nice and close, that match. Mark Beister-Bosch, haven't spoke about him much. He started our coverage on day 1 here with a great performance. He's now playing Kim Larksonen, the very underrated Finn. Mark is 8-4 up and at the table. And you can just see in the background there, Quinton Pongers. Playing against Nikioi. I just held my breath for a minute. I thought he was going to fluke a ball. But Nikioi is 1-0 up in that one that's just started. So Stuart, can you replicate the good breaks you've been having? You can. 2's open. Everything's open. Just needs to navigate around the 6 here. Which he does. Still quite content to leave a bit of distance. Stuart. And Stuart does take them out. He's now only 8-6 behind. Must be very early in the USA. Welcome if you're tuning in over there. And the reason I mention USA fans is because at the UK Open we will see the return. Team USA captain Skylar Woodward, who's missed a couple of months due to injury. He'll be back at the UK Open. Can't wait for that. And this looks really good from Denis. He's got an open shot on the 2. Slightly thin cut down the rail, but nothing he can't handle. Well, he can't believe he's done that. The side spin, he tried to impart on the cue ball to hold it in a straight line so it wouldn't go near the middle pocket. Either hasn't worked or has taken effect a bit late. And as a result, he went straight in the middle pocket. Stuart, meanwhile, with ball in hand, runs straight into the 4 ball. That could have gone wrong, but it hasn't, and it made Denis smile again. Another little bit of luck. He has had the vast majority of it in this match, but still deserves to be very close. And then we're going to see a second hill finish for Stuart Bingham in this tournament, I wonder. Yesterday morning, he started off the day just getting over the line. Seems to bring the excitement, doesn't he? Pleasure to have him at the event. And another clearance finished from Stuart. And he's very close, hunting down Denis. He's now 8-7 behind. Mark Beisterbosch on the hill against Kim Larkson is only 4 balls away from finishing that one and making his way into the last 16 later today. USA fans, if you are with us, just a reminder, in August we have 2 huge majors. Firstly, the inaugural Florida Open, which will take place in Orlando. That promises to be spectacular. And later in August, the US Open this year, with a hugely prized prize fund up to $500,000, with the winner taking away $100,000, making it the second highest prize money on the World 9-Ball Tour, behind the World Championships. A status that it deserves, in my opinion. Tickets are already on sale for those events. Just go to matchroompool.com for all the details. Stuart here has left very awkward on the orange 5. Requests his extension. Very thin to try and cut this. Yeah, it was difficult. And he's scratched. Worst possible outcome. Just as he was on the comeback trail. Mark Boyster-Bosch has finished the job and is through to the last 16 now. The draws are available on WNTLivescores.com. And Mark is going to be playing the winner of Quintin Pongers and Niuki. Niuki currently 2-0 up in that one. No mistakes this time from Denis. And he makes it to the hill, 9-7 up.
Number 17 is the Grabe break on the hill and by 9 the rest of 7. Ball in hand, please start the clock.
And Stuart makes his way through these balls. He knows there's got to be no miss pull from here. One of the big advantages, I guess, of being a world snooker champion is this won't feel like much pressure to him. He'll know he's the underdog against these big WNT pros. Just the simple 9. And he's only one behind.
Mr. Bingham wins the rack. Number 18, Mr. Bingham the break. By 8 racks to 9. Extension call.
Denis, he wants to be sure he doesn't leave Stuart anything. After Stuart's good safety. He doesn't want this coming heel-heel, so he needs good contact here. Well, have you seen anything like it? That went practically in the pocket and still came out. So Stuart now has the chance to take us all the way. I still can't quite believe how that shot from Denis Grabe, how the cue ball has hit the inside of the middle point and come straight back. Don't think I've ever seen anything like it. It's almost like it goes through the other point. Stuart won't care. All he knows is his extracted ball in hand. And he's just trying to finish these. But always a twist. Referee explains the 6 is frozen to the rail, which means that Stuart needs to make it hit another rail or another ball hit a rail after contact. Yeah, and he reached the side rail. He'll be happy he's got some cover, because that could have been disaster. Now Denis needs to come with a good shot to win this. He's half jogging back to his chair as the clock ticks down to retrieve his jump cue. And that's why you'll often see players taking their playing cue and jump cue to the table when they're not sure what shot they're going to play. It just prevents that period of time where they need to go back and change, because he didn't have much time to settle there, and as a result he's missed the jump. So Stuart again has the chance. And it looks a certainty now that we will be going all the way. It is Hill who will hold their nerve and who is going home. Kiwi now 4-1 up on Quinton Pires. Quinton's just won the 5th rack there to stop the landslide. Cledio Kachi is currently 8-5 up on Riku Rumpinen. Riku, who defeated Cledio a couple of days ago, or it may only have been yesterday, to send him to the loser's side. And David Al-Qaedi is on the hill against Revo Mamra. 9-4 there. So by benefit of winning the lag, Denis will break.
Final rack, Mr. Brown. And there's no shot block on this rack.
Yeah, as you heard the referee announce there, local tournament rule, there is no shot clock on a hill decider. So Denis will have a bit more time to consider his options here, as will both players. Even with all the time in the world, this is a difficult one to assess what to play. Luckily he's a tall man, he'll be able to reach that over the 3. It's still very awkward.
Push-up call.
Denis taking advantage of that local rule with no shot clock to take extra time. The organisers feel the last thing they want to see is someone needing to rush a shot and lose that way. So he plays the push, he covers the 4 ball with the 8, just in case Stuart manages to somehow pop this 2. It makes the clearance much more difficult. As we've seen, Denis's advantage is in the tactical side over Stuart, who will happily clear them up if they are there. And he's played that really well, has Stuart. Acknowledged by Denis. Managing to get behind the 7 ball. And this is tough for Denis. There's a lot of balls on the table, but quite tough to get safe. Big risk of running into one of those balls. With the 2, and he tries to send it away, which could open it all up. He's hit that just about as good as he could. But it's Stuart who gets the first chance. And this is where Denis's play on the push out of just making the clearance a bit harder by pushing that 8 in the way of the 4 might be the only thing that saves him now. So Stuart, having missed a couple of longer shots earlier on, just when he was forced to play them hard to get position, on this occasion settles for a longer combo in order to not risk missing the pot. He's played that very, very well. Making absolute full ball contact between 4 and 8 means that the 4 stays exactly where it was. And now he just needs to hold himself together for a great victory against one of the pool greats, really. Three balls away now as the crowd starts to fill from watching other tables. They want to see how this one ends. There's nothing better than the hill finish, is there? And Stuart Bingham, who never led in this match, takes the lead at the only point where it really matters, wins the match 10 racks to 9. Another fantastic performance and another great match. And we will be back in just about 20 minutes or so, 15, 20 minutes for the last 16. And we will see you then.
It was not straight like coming, just unlucky. And I scratched from this one. It was unbelievable. I don't know if I can scratch from here. It's weird. It's always sliding down, you know. But the cushion's so strong and like bouncy, so it's. I would never think I can't scratch there. You know? But you played well. I was making balls off the break, but never position. You always run. Like also if I don't land like Chinese, I can still play the trick, you know.
I didn't even think of the push until you said it. I was like, oh yeah, you can push.
Yeah. I was thinking maybe I should jack up and play the white ball behind the. Well, I mean like.
Yeah. Now, yeah.
I'm 4-0 up and I go for the double, which was maybe a wrong shot, and then suddenly slide the ball and 4-4, everything turns around. Any mistakes? I missed the 8, you missed the 7 or 8, was it? Yeah, the 6-4. You know, the 5 ball you hit and almost nuclear 7. Normally on the other tables it would come longer. This one comes way short. Like the diamonds, you know, they would come longer on the diamond table.
It is sliding